Let me start this recording right now so I can save this for a VOD later. It should be good. Let's just make sure. YouTube. Am I streaming on YouTube? Let's find out. I think so. I think I am. I hope so. Let me check. One moment. One moment, everybody. Get right to you. Open this up in a other web browser right quick. Let's see. Uh-oh, I can't tell. Oh boy. Let me at least make sure that I'm live on Twitch, because that's what really matters. If I'm live on Twitch, it's good. I can upload it as a VOD to YouTube later. It'll be fine. I believe I'm live. One moment, everybody. We're almost there. We are live. We are live. All right, awesome. Let me just go to Twitch on my phone just to log in, make sure everything's all good, and we'll get the show started right quick. For everyone watching the VOD on YouTube, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Mikeadellic. You could already guess what my name is, but whatever. That doesn't really matter right now. One moment, everyone. So we are streaming on Twitch right now. That's good. We're live on Twitch. Like I said, it's okay if we're not live on YouTube right now, because I could just upload that as a VOD later. Oh, hold on. There we are. We have made it to Twitch and YouTube. The multi-stream works. Hallelujah. Okay, let me pull up my phone one last time just so I can get all my notes down. Pretty big night for SmackDown. I enjoyed it very much. But let's see what we're working with today. Let's see. Let me pull up my notes. And we're good. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mikeadellic. This is my first review of any wrestling show. Tonight just so happens to be the May 31st episode of Friday Night SmackDown 2024. Honestly, I enjoyed tonight. It was pretty good. Nothing to really rag on. Maybe a few small things, but other than that, it was overall a solid show. I mean, it wasn't fantastic. Obviously, it wasn't perfect, but you know, every day you can't really. They could always strive for greatness, but you'll never truly encapsulate it every single time. And as great as that sounds, it's just not reality. But overall, SmackDown was great tonight. It was a big night for AJ Styles. Very big night for. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I'm still looking at my notes. Okay. They're all loaded in. We're good. But yeah, it's a very big night for AJ Styles. Every other match was just kind of, I wouldn't say filler exactly, but at least it felt that way. Just a lot of filler, you know? Just nothing that was absolute standout. Other than maybe the Bloodline segments. KO and Paul Heyman tonight was amazing. AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes ending off the show. I mean, either he was about to retire or there was going to be a twist, and lo and behold, there was a twist. You know, you could, like, I wasn't expecting AJ to announce it on a random episode of Friday Night SmackDown. I mean, it just seemed fair, but that's just, you know, smart Mark behavior, just constantly chatting. But, alright. Alright, great. Let's go in, just order. Nia Jax officially challenges Bayley for the world title after Nia Jax knocked off Lyra Valkyria at King and Queen of the Ring to become Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. So she officially challenges Bayley for her title. And then right after that, Bayley comes out to the ring and then gets absolutely jumped. By Green and Niven. Mm-hmm. And honestly, that was about it until later in the night. But we'll get there. We'll get there when we get there, you know. But all right, everything's all good so far. then AJ Styles will reveal what is his future in the WWE ring. Now, it was already rumored last week that, he'll probably give some sort of like departure speech, maybe. Like I said, they didn't really have a clue where his contract was sitting currently. Maybe jumping ship to about to say AEW, possibly happen. More likely than not, it sounds damn near impossible. I wouldn't bet on it. To TNA, I mean, after we saw Jordan Grace on NXT, and then the debut of Ethan Page, you never know. Look, and it's a new era. The Vince era is dead. It's the Paul Levesque era, and honestly, I couldn't be happier. I didn't enjoy the Vince era. Personally, the late Vince era was just terrible, in my opinion. In my opinion, you're allowed to like whatever you like, but in my opinion, it was absolute dog shit. I'm just gonna keep it honest. It was just not my cup of tea. It was just really bad, in my opinion, of course. But just overall, the Vince era, not good. Not good. Anyway, Ciampa versus Theory. So, DIY was asking Aldis for what they have to do for the SmackDown Tag Team title opportunity. Asking what they had to do. So, Theory and Waller walk in on this, and they just start chatting away. It's like, you're practically begging Aldis. You're practically begging, you could have just talked to us, bud. Like, it would have been said and done. But overall, Ciampa, being Ciampa, got a little too hasty and challenges Theory to a fight. Because Ciampa knows he can whoop Theory. But Theory is like, all right, you've pissed me off too much. Why not? I'll do it anyway. So, Ciampa challenges Theory and he accepts. To start off the match, we have a vicious neckbreaker by Theory off the ring apron to Ciampa as Ciampa grasps for his neck. Now, there was a few moves before this, just a few common strikes and slams, nothing out of this world. I believe this was going right into commercial break, where Ciampa just gets, it was a vicious neckbreaker from the outside apron to the floor, vicious neckbreaker, and Ciampa was grasping his neck. He was only selling it. I doubt anything's actually wrong with him. At least I would hope so. Ciampa, he walked out just fine. But overall, vicious neckbreaker. I like that a lot. Oh, yes. Before that, I absolutely missed it. I'm so sorry. Crazy patella brainbuster by Theory. He did like a cross, like he crossed Ciampa's legs into the patella brainbuster. Nasty, nasty move. Absolutely devastating. Absolutely terrible. It looked nasty. Which actually began having Ciampa hold his neck. So next time when Ciampa got another neck breaker outside of the ring, he was really clutching at it. He was definitely trying to sell it, and great job, of course. And so after commercial, Ciampa gets kicked in the back of the head and kicks out of the ataxia, which was Theory's finisher on the Indies and in NXT for a little bit. Absolutely brutal move. I think that should be his finisher. The 8-town down, the little F5 into like the knee face breaker, just not my cup of tea. I don't like it. There's not much about it. Very easy to pull off, very easy to perform. I understand why he does it, but in my opinion, just it doesn't look good. It doesn't look that good in my opinion. We've had people sell it like crazy before. Ciampa didn't really sell it like crazy, but he never got hit with it. But overall, it's just not a clean-looking move. I prefer the ataxia, which looked amazing as usual tonight. He never ceases to surprise me physically, Austin Theory. As grating and annoying he is as a heel, he still has a lot, and I mean a lot, of physical ability. As a face, I could see him pulling off wilder moves to show how good of a face he is, maybe. But until then, we'll have to wait. But overall, yeah, so he kicks out the ataxia. So as the match goes on, Grayson Waller hears, he overhears Corey Graves and just overall talks smack about about. Sorry, I gotta work tomorrow. Anyway, overall, he hears Corey Graves and Michael Cole talk smack. Am I going crazy? I think I'm going crazy. Wait. Was it Michael Cole? Who was on commentary tonight? It was not Michael Cole. Barrett. Oh my god, it was Wade Barrett. Oh my goodness. I'm losing my mind. Barrett and Graves were starting to talk trash about Waller and Theory. I mean, obviously, Graves not as much, but overall, they were praising DIY over Waller and Theory, and Grayson Waller didn't take too kind to that. He starts mouthing off, and then Waller said, "Do you not understand? I gave that man the Grayson Waller rub. We should be in the spotlight." And Theory kind of tilts his head, saying, "Huh?" he was a little confused. He's like, "Excuse me? What did you say?" And then all of a sudden, Ciampa from behind, schoolboy roll up, 1, 2, 3, and Ciampa steals a win from Austin Theory. Now, what does the future look like for Theory and Waller? I don't know. After tonight, I would only assume that they're going to be bickering and arguing on television. We'll see how it goes from there. Maybe an eventual split up, but until then, we'll just have to wait and see. But I could definitely see a split and an Austin Theory face turn, which is what I believe he needs, because he's not very believable as a heel. He's an obnoxious heel, but not because he's good at working as a heel. It's because we, as an audience, just hate to see him as a heel. I don't know. It's different from inside the ring and outside. It's just we don't want to see Austin Theory as a heel because he's just overly annoying. And I think Vince McMahon is part of the reason for that. Because the whole selfie gimmick, I mean, it was catchy, but in the end, what did it do for him? It made him look like a fool by being Vince McMahon's lapdog, essentially. But now him as a heel, it's just left a bad taste in my mouth. And I still love Austin Theory. I still love his work. But him as a heel, it just doesn't do it for me. And I don't think it does it for a lot of fans. So I believe Paul Levesque is finally booking him to be a babyface. An eventual turn. It doesn't seem very rushed, but until then. So, backstage, Naomi rubs Blair Davenport the wrong way. Now, Blair Davenport was essentially asking, for a match and for a way to rise in the ranks of the women's division. But while she was doing that, Naomi cuts in asking for a tag match between Naomi, Bayley, and then Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. And Blair Davenport is like, I was in the middle of something. What do you, I'm kind of in the middle of a conversation. Could you, kindly fuck off? Can you kindly just please fuck off? And it was just kind of funny. And Naomi big leagues her, saying, I'm not even, usually I would introduce myself, but I don't even know who you are. So, I'm just gonna, talk to the hand. And I'm like, she big leagued Blair Davenport. Blair Davenport's absolutely wild in that ring, and Naomi just big leagued her. So in the upcoming weeks, if not next week, we're going to see some tensions rise between the two, and eventually they'll probably have a match. But overall, Davenport is not happy with Naomi. Anyway, we cut to LA Knight in the back, and all of a sudden, he meets up with Nick Aldis in his office, asking for Logan Paul. And then it goes to commercial. We come back, LA Knight walks out, and in short, Nick Aldis says he's not here this week, in short, because now LA Knight has officially claimed he wants, and he's going after the United States title. But Logan Paul isn't here this week, so LA Knight's a little pissed off about that. So he's going to have to wait. He's going to have to wait for his opportunity for Logan Paul to come on SmackDown, or for LA Knight to get him on Raw somehow, and see where this goes. I'm very excited. I think it's time LA Knight definitely gets that United States Championship opportunity. Well deserved. He put himself over in such a short amount of time, from Max Dupree back to LA Knight. He had the match with Bray, R.I.P. Wyndham. That match was not everyone's cup of tea, very understandably. Very mixed reviews. But overall, still a great match. Like I said, RIP Wyndham. But overall, the way LA Knight has been able to elevate himself and himself alone has been absolutely outstanding. The swap back to LA Knight has done wonders for him, and I think it's time for him to hold a belt. He had a great match at WrestleMania. I was actually able to go to Philly, but overall for night 2. But overall, LA Knight, AJ Styles, great match. LA Knight obviously pulled off the victory. Great. You know, LA Knight has gotten the rub from Cody, Cena. I mean, The Undertaker by getting chokeslammed by him, essentially. But overall, just LA Knight has it, and I think it's time for him to hold that title. Logan Paul, he could drop the title and still be Logan Paul. Because in the end, he's still technically a celebrity wrestler, so he's able to hold a loss and then move on. I mean, he's done it before. But overall, I believe it's time for LA Knight to hold that United States title. Yes. And after that, LA Knight, all of a sudden, look who comes walking in. Carmelo Hayes. They talk trash to each other. I believe they did it last week as well. Melo mouths off to LA Knight. LA Knight mouths off back, as per usual. LA Knight does not want to lie down and take a beating, or a verbal beating for that matter, too. So, on that note, we're getting an LA Knight Carmelo Hayes match in the near future, most likely before SummerSlam, which is where most likely it will be Logan Paul versus LA Knight for the United States title. Should be a great match. I'm looking forward to it. Carmelo Hayes always has great work. LA Knight never ceases to entertain. Should be an absolute banger. Okay, so now we are on to Apollo Crews versus Andrade El Idolo. When he was used in AEW, he did his thing, but they didn't do enough with him. He dipped, and now he's back, and I'm glad for him. And then we also have Apollo Crews, who just so happens to finally be back on the Blue Brand. Right before Andrade came out, he was in the mic. Yeah, let's go, SmackDown, back on the Blue Brand, baby, woohoo. He doesn't have an authentic, at least he doesn't have authentic confidence. At least from what I'm seeing. He could absolutely work, and obviously he had his IC title run during the pandemic era. It just never rubbed me the right way. It was just Apollo Crews is amazing in that ring, but he just doesn't have, I guess, aura. I mean, obviously in the ring, absolutely fantastic, but on the mic, a lot left to be desired. But still love Apollo. I still love the work he's doing. But anyway, during the match, Apollo Crews backflips onto Andrade, essentially. Before they were trading few blows, they got thrown to the outside. And who comes out? Angel Garza, or just Angel now, I guess. And they go right to commercial break as Angel decides to walk out after Apollo Crews hitting a backflip onto Andrade. But anyway, Andrade hits a mean crossbody on Apollo after commercial break. Mean, like snap to the ground power. As both men traded blows, I believe Andrade runs the ropes and smacks him upside the head with a giant forearm. Andrade smacks Apollo with a giant flying forearm to the face. Really, really good. Okay. And at this point in time, I'm realizing Apollo Crews is not getting squashed. He's been jobbing for the last 2 years. Apollo Crews has done nothing of importance. I'm sorry, Apollo. I still love you, man. But he hasn't been booked. I mean, under Vince McMahon, Apollo Crews was just... I mean, even Corey Graves said it. Lost in the shuffle on Raw. He did nothing. Speaking of lost in the shuffle on Raw, Odyssey Jones, where are you? But that's for another time. That's for Monday, actually. But we'll scratch Odyssey Jones for now. Well, I hope we see him more. But anyway, giant crossbody, and then Andrade hits a mean double, those double knees in the corner. Looks absolutely brutal. And then, like I said, I'm glad Apollo is not getting squashed. But then all of a sudden, Apollo makes this comeback and hits a mean military press drop. mean, like all high in the air. He held him there for a long time too. Apollo was just flexing his strength because he has a lot of it. And I give him a lot of credit there because, wow. Apollo Crews is insanely strong and very underutilized in that stance. He could be used as a power man for WWE. Obviously, maybe even used as enhancement talent, but like when he's not getting squashed, he is doing great things in that ring, and I love to see it. Anyway, Apollo Crews gets distracted by Angel on the outside. He's like, obviously, he's telling him to go away. And when he turns around, he gets hit with the Judas effect, or that spinning elbow. Brutal. Chris Jericho is not hitting that like that anymore. That is Andrade's move, and I hope it stays that way. However, I will still call it the Judas effect because, wow. What a great name, first of all. And second of all, that spinning elbow. Just absolutely lethal. And Jericho popularized it in the beginning of his AEW run. Andrade was hitting it before, though. I know, a lot of back and forth. You guys can, in the comments, you could always tell me if I'm right or wrong for putting it or associating it with Apollo or Chris Jericho. I still don't like Chris Jericho personally. Fuck Chris Jericho, but whatever. Anyway, Judas effect, and then I forgot what the move is called. But Andrade, he hits that double underhook spinning like final cut or curtain call, one of those moves. Spins it and pins him for the 1-2-3. And then the rest of LWO, Elektra Lopez, Berto, stupid fucking name, very stupid. It's Umberto. Could we just call him Umberto, please? Thank you. And Elektra, and they, and of course the leader. He's always out there. I mean, we all know it's the one, the only, Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar. Anyway, but Andrade blows right past him. He doesn't care. He shows little to no interest in them whatsoever, and either he's about to hit a surprise, either he's going to surprise the WWE Universe and join them, or he's just going to rival against them, which is most likely what is going to happen. Paul Heyman declares to Chris Jericho that he should talk to him more, essentially telling him to use the wise man to his advantage. Use him to, Roman Reigns always talked and always consulted with the wise man, Paul Heyman. Seems like Solo has not been doing that. He's just been chewing him off, just clearly does not care that the wise man is there. And how the bloodline at this time should be very well aware of focusing on Cody Rhodes, because when Roman Reigns does come back, the bloodline needs to have Cody Rhodes in their sight, maybe even weakened up. But it seems like the bloodline right now, especially with the Guerrillas of War, I believe that's their New Japan name. I didn't watch Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. Guerrillas of Destiny. Oh my goodness, my apologies to Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. Please don't spike me or manhandle me. That would be terrible. But overall, yes, the Guerrillas of Destiny, 7-time IWGP tag titles, or tag team champions. As Corey Grave points out on commentary, like I said, we're in the Paul Levesque era for sure. Definitely in the Paul Levesque era for sure. So we will definitely hear a lot more New Japan references, but overall, very, very good. Let's see. Okay. So then Kevin Owens comes out essentially praising Randy Orton for being a great Fred and saying Randy Orton is not here this week. As we all know, he took a giant beating from Gunther, who is now the new King of the Ring. Gunther has had an absolute incredible match with him, but Randy is not here this week. That's what Kevin Owens states. However, Kevin Owens said he went to Saudi Arabia, he returned to SmackDown to prevent the bloodline from interfering with Randy. Because Randy Orton and Roman Reigns, they have history. However, Kevin Owens is there to protect Randy Orton from getting jumped by this new bloodline of Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. Honestly, very He's throwing caution to the wind here. He's being very selfless for putting himself in the way between Randy Orton and the Bloodline so he could defend Randy Orton. So anyway, Heyman comes out and talks to KO man-to-man / as Paul Heyman would say, father-to-father, and warned KO not to pick a fight with the Bloodline in genuine fear. Genuine fear. Because the other Bloodline members are, quote-unquote, this is Paul Heyman's words, not mine, bloodthirsty thugs. Oh, dear God. Paul Heyman is absolutely terrified. He is quaking in those loafers. In those Scarsdale loafers. Shout out to Scarsdale. He's shaking in his boots, essentially. But KO is not buying what Heyman's selling. He doesn't believe him that he's terrified. KO is passionate and says the Bloodline isn't the Bloodline because of how unorganized they are. Very unorganized, just jumping and beating up everyone in their path. KO says, this is my world. This is my world, not yours. And Heyman, in response, very upset, goes on a tirade about how he wants to be redeemed, but he'll never be. Or maybe not that he wants to be redeemed, but just knowing he'll never be redeemed because of all the bad he's done. But he is genuine, at least from what we see as the audience, he's genuinely in fear of the Bloodline. He is absolutely terrified. The Bloodline comes out, and as soon as they're about to brawl with the KO, from the crowds, the Street Profits pop up right behind them, and they go to war. They start battling, which leads directly into the Guerrillas of Destiny versus the Street Profits. So, match starts off with Tongaloa beating on Montez after Tongaloa himself eating a beatdown himself, but just simply shaking it off. Tez hot tags Dawkins. Dawkins shows why he's also solo competitor worthy. The athleticism on Dawkins is absolutely underrated, and we always talk about Montez Ford being a future singles champion. Dawkins is also in that same boat from what I'm looking at right now. He has the athleticism. He has charisma. And if he continues the way he's doing, I believe the fans and management will realize that. And when it is time for the Street Profits to go to their separate ways, they will both have major success. Because what I'm looking at between the both of them are huge single stars. Great as a tag team, but from what I could see, possibly even better as single stars. Anyway, Tongaloa gets tagged in and clotheslines the shit out of Dawkins. I mean, cold cocks him with his forearm. Oh my goodness, it was absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. And it's a scary sight, you know, it's a very scary sight. And I'm like, what? Because the way Dawkins fell, he fell like a sack of potatoes. Just absolutely clocked to the ground and out cold. But obviously he was okay. Great sell. After that, let's see. Yes. After that, like I said, Graves brings up how they're 7-time IWGP Tag Champs. Look, very notable. Showing them that these guys may be unorganized, but they're not slouches. They have won gold in Japan, let alone all over the world. Like I said, the Guerrillas of Destiny, they've been all over. They've been everywhere. Everywhere outside of WWE. But just, once again, showing them that you can find success out of WWE. You absolutely can. Varying on levels of success, that's a whole different story, of course. However, very, very good showing from the Guerrillas of War tonight. They don't have the most complex moveset, but they hit hard. Everything they do looks stiff, even if it may not be. Let's see. After commercial break, Tama Tonga starts beating on Angelo Dawkins. And apparently this whole time, B-Fab was at ringside. I guess she got there during commercial break, I would think. I didn't even realize B-Fab was out there. That's one of my own complaints. Like, they hardly ever announced that B-Fab was there. She's kind of just been standing off to the side. She's in the same boat as Michin right now, where they're just kind of off to the side, just kind of supporting their own little faction, and it's just, I don't know, they don't feel important. they don't feel important. I hope that they start to prioritize their positions in their own respective factions, but until then, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait. But, yeah, they were out there. Let's see. Yes. Dawkins hot tags Montez after a mean belly-to-back suplex as Tez beats on Tonga Loa. I'm sorry, wait, what? Dawkins hot tags Montez? Yes. Montez eats a mean belly-to-belly, but then hot tags... Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Dawkins hot tags Montez Ford after a mean belly-to-back suplex as Tez beats on Tonga Loa. So Dawkins eats a mean belly-to-back, but Dawkins still was able to get the hot tag, and Montez clears house. The Street Profits hit a blockbuster off of Dawkins' shoulders to Tama Tonga. Absolute mean. It looked like the Doomsday. It's a Doomsday blockbuster, and it looked great, absolutely great. Great work from the Street Profits. All of a sudden, Tonga Loa gets a tag. Tez hits. Tonga Loa tags in Tama Tonga. So Tonga Loa eats the frog splash. Tez's beautiful splash, but he doesn't know that Tama Tonga is tagged in. Tama Tonga hits the pay dirt, or whatever that move is called. Or at least his version. I know Shelton Benjamin's is the pay dirt, but he hits that variant of the move. Pins Montez 1, 2, 3. The Bloodline beat the Street Profits. It was an alright match. It was probably the greatest tag match of the night. Hopefully this week as well. Good pacing. Good way to introduce Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga. Even though Tama Tonga's already been here, Tonga Loa officially being introduced shows off all of his just brutalist moveset. Just heavy hits from both of them. So, Indy confronts Cargill and Belair. Belair and Cargill tell Indy off. Indy backs away because Candice LeRae is injured, apparently at home. So Indy got a little upset by that, tried to confront Cargill, and Belair immediately backed off. She knew she was getting whooped, and we're getting Jade Cargill versus Indy next week anyway. So I can only imagine Indy gets absolutely squashed by Jade, because Jade Cargill is just in her little Hulk Hogan era of just squashing anyone in her path. So I understand. I understand, though. As we continue to see, the mysterious QR code appears as, it appears on screen, and obviously the cryptic messaging. I won't go too far into it myself. However, it seems that as WWE's off air, they continue to air The Nightbird, the song. And week by week, it gets even more distorted, which I can only assume means that the Wyatt Six is coming. Or whatever the faction will be called. Bo Dallas, Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy, Eric Rowan, Nikki Cross, and Alexa Bliss. Wow. I'm very excited. Taylor also has a very creative mind, like his brother did. Like I said, rest in peace, Wyndham. Taylor Rotunda is cooking. What is he cooking exactly? I don't know, but he is cooking. So I only wish nothing but success for this new faction, and to get all of these faces we haven't seen in a while back on TV, especially Dexter Lumis. He's coming back with a full beard, apparently. I wish I had his beard. But overall, he's going to come back with a full beard, the whole getup. So I'm very excited. Michin reveals AJ Styles has not been talking to the OC. That was just quick. Bayley Naomi versus Piper and Chelsea. Oh, complete side note. Piper Niven on the Indies, absolute beast. Megaton Barbie, Piper Niven, or just Piper. What a demon. Super athletic for her size. Absolutely, like sticking with the name, Megaton Barbie. Like, she was definitely dressed up on the Indies as, classic women's get-up, but absolutely killing it on the Indies. And she's been doing great in WWE too. Maybe not to the extent that maybe she could be because of her booking. Push that to the side for now, because once she breaks through the, the lackey gimmick from Eva Marie now to Chelsea Green, if she breaks that, she could definitely break out with new music as a brand new person. So, Niven and Green work on Bailey as Naomi gets tagged in. Bailey forearms Niven from the apron after Naomi suicide dives on Green. After commercial, Green and Niven gain control. Naomi gets tagged and hits a flurry of moves on Green and drop kicks Piper off the apron. Naomi hits a kind of shoddy springboard on both Green and Niven. It wasn't pretty. It got the job done. Niven, I put this in quotation, woman handles, man handling, woman handling, potato potato. Woman handles Bailey and slams her into stairs. Looked brutal. Niven then sentons onto Naomi and then throws Chelsea Green on Naomi to get the pin for the win. Shockingly. For the win, shockingly. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven win against the women's champion and Naomi. Very shocking. I guess they're just trying to put over Piper Niven and Chelsea. And honestly, good for them, because I think they deserve it. Chelsea Green being like the cowardly type and Niven just being the ruthless, super heavyweight, megaton Barbie, clearing house as always, Scotswoman. Good for her. Very, very good for her. Okay, so after that, we go to commercial break as right before commercial break, I should say, AJ Styles walks up to LA Knight. LA Knight shows respect to AJ. Then AJ runs into Cody Rhodes. AJ and Cody show respect towards each other. And then AJ walks up to the OC saying, "Come to the ring with me. It's time." As they go to commercial break. As we come back to commercial break, AJ Styles makes his entrance with the OC. Let's see. As AJ comes out, Corey Graves gives a very heartfelt speech about AJ Styles, how they met in like 2002, how great of a mentor he was for him, how great of friends they've become, and wishes AJ nothing but the best. Corey, very well-spoken, heartfelt message to AJ Styles. Anyway, AJ dwells on what Aldis said and how AJ would have to go to the back of the line. But AJ is done waiting. AJ says, essentially, he's done it all over the world. He starts to choke up a little bit. He talks about AJ's son graduating high school, how it was very emotional for him, and then AJ was realizing how many events in his personal life has he missed for professional wrestling. The answer is a lot. You sacrifice a lot on the road as a professional wrestler. So he sacrificed a lot to be in the ring. AJ thinks about sticking to be a phenomenal father, essentially hanging up his boots and then just being a good father, I guess. But then he calls out Cody Rhodes to the ring because they whispered in each other's ears right before it went to commercial break. So Cody comes out. Cody talks about how right after their absolute great match at Backlash in front of that amazing French crowd, talking about how much of a banger they had between each other, and Cody Rhodes only texted AJ Styles once in his life, and he texted him, "Are you okay?" AJ said, "I'm fine, little bro. I'm fine." Which was almost insinuating AJ's time as a big brother was coming to an end and taking on a father figure for his own son instead of, I don't know, a father figure for the WWE or an older brother role for the WWE. But anyway, AJ says, if this was my last match, that's the way how I want to go out, in front of an amazing crowd, in front of amazing people. AJ shakes hands. Cody almost chokes up, actually. Cody then thanks AJ. Cody and AJ hug. Cody holds up AJ's hand. And then at this moment, at least I realized, it's Mark Henry Cena all over again. The whole retirement speech, essentially, or a retirement adjacent speech. And all of a sudden, AJ Styles cold-cocked Cody Rhodes with a clothesline. Slams that clothesline right into him. Absolutely brutal. While officials try to rush to the ring, the OC prevent the officials to getting to the ring. So it seems like AJ Styles has been in touch with the OC this whole time. Maybe not to Michin, but to Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, because they are preventing the officials from getting in as AJ Styles tears apart ringside, props Cody Rhodes up on some steel steps, and hits a Styles Clash off steel steps to the hard, cold ground. Absolutely brutal. And that's how Friday Night SmackDown 5/31/2024 goes off air. I have no more notes. What did I think of the episode? I thought it was fine. Like I said, nothing crazily stand out except the Bloodline work and the AJ work. I mean, great tag match between the Bloodline and the Street Profits. Street Profits never cease to amaze me as the Bloodline continues to intrigue me with the way they wrestle. Heavy hitting, hard hitting moves. Paul Heyman fearing the Bloodline, fearing his own faction or what's about to come of them. Very scary. Very, very scary. He's very scared. I believe KO will one day come to his senses and realize that Paul Heyman is being serious. If I had to rank tonight's episode out of 10, which I believe I'm going to be doing for every single show that I review, Dynamite, Rampage, maybe Collision, Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night NXT, Friday Night SmackDown, Dynamite on Wednesday, just every show. We'll see. I don't know about Collision. We'll see about that. It depends what the match card's looking like, but I'll get back to you as soon as I can with an update video soon enough. But overall, it was a fine SmackDown. I'll give it a 7.4 out of 10. Nothing absolutely stand out. Oh, well, no, a few things stand out. But the things that weren't stand out were just, they're okay, you know? I don't want to hate on them completely. It was just little things that were bad. There was nothing truly bad about this episode, but there was things that were just meh. At least in my opinion. Just kind of meh. But, anyway, like I said, I plan to do other content on here. Gaming being a large one. That may take a little bit more time as I set more things up. Let me know what kind of content you want. If you want more reviews, comment, like, subscribe. If you're on Twitch, please follow the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. That's all I really have to say for tonight. We're about to head up on 43 minutes. So honestly, that's all I have to say tonight. Thank you for everyone who's going to watch the VOD of this. Thank you to the few people who tuned in live on Twitch. Great show. I mean, it was a fine show. Like I said, 7.4 out of 10. But if you liked my commentary, let me know. If there's any constructive criticisms, let me know that as well. There is a few that I could already point out already. I stuttered a little bit. My notes weren't as ready as I wanted them to be. But little minute details, you know, a few minute details that I have to improve on. Like I said, this is my first time doing this. Maybe a little nervous, maybe just a little bit. I don't know why. I'm talking to a camera. I'm talking to invisible people, but whatever. Anyway, if you did like this, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch, drop a like, please comment. Honestly, any engagement with this channel, even a dislike, is appreciated. Because we're starting small here. I decided to ball out, at least for the first time, with a good microphone. It's a Yeti GX, I believe. But anyway, we're about to head on 45 minutes. Thank you, everyone. Let me know if there's anything that you would recommend to me, or if you just like the content, or if you didn't like the content. Let me know. Please. It would really help me out a lot, because I really do want to grow content creation. I really want to try this. I really want to make a good effort at it. Gaming content, wrestling content is coming your way. Thank you to everyone on YouTube or on Twitch. You've all been great, and I think it's time to hang it up for the night. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for watching.